The first actual week of Decklist for Evil Eye and Witchcraft are out, and man, oh man, is it cool getting the chance to see some of these. So we've had two Witchcraft decks and an Evil Eye deck. The Evil Eye deck did very well in a team tournament, which gives us hope for the decks. We're going to be covering both deck lists for you guys today on this video, because I think innovation is very important, especially when we will be getting this stuff in the near future. So this will be a referencing point for that stage. So this is week one for Witchcraft and some of the other finer, interesting stuff going on in the OCG. So we have two copies of Ash Blossom, Enjoy a Spring. Once again, mandatory staple. It's limited to two. You should be playing this. We have two copies of Prankatops. This card is nuts. Depending on going first or second or whichever kind of variants that you're going to be playing, I do think that you do need to probably consider this. And then triple copies of Thanos Dragon himself. Draw power against Link decks is incredibly powerful once again. I do think it's important to understand that. And then just triple copies of Draw a Bunch of Cards, the card. Now, the Witchcraft cards themselves are very unique because they all have some sort of ability to climb ladders, amongst other things. So, we have two copies of Hane. So your opponent cannot target other spellcaster monsters you control with card effects. And then quick effect, you can discard one spell card, target one face-up monster your opponent controls, and destroy it. Now remember, this is a quick effect, so you can use this during your opponent's turn as well, which is insane. We have one copy of Master Verre. During damage calculation, if your spellcaster monster battles, you can reveal any number of spells with different names, and if you do, the battling monster will gain 1,000 attack and defense for each spell revealed. And then quick effect, you can discard one spell and negate the effects of all face-up cards your opponent currently controls till the end of this turn. She's only got 1,000 attack. She's a very good card, don't get me wrong. But, yeah, sad times are ahead. Now, we have triple copies of Pittore. So, during your main phase, quick effect, you contribute this card and discard one spell to special summon a Witchcraft monster from your deck except for Pittore. You can banish this card from your graveyard to draw a card and then send one Witchcraft card from your hand to the graveyard. Or, if you do not have any in your hand, banish your entire hand. You can only use each effect of Pittore once per turn. So, the thing we care about, spell, draw power, things like that. I also love the fact that all the little ones are Lone Fire Blossoms into the big ones. Now, we have one copy of Pittore, or Pittori, so you can, same thing, Lone Fire, Tribute, discard a spell, special summon from your deck. If you have no cards in your hand, you can banish this card from your graveyard, target one Witchcraft card in your graveyard, and add it to your hand. So if you can burn through your entire hand, you can add back one of the spells that you discarded. Then we have triple copies of Shemitah. Once again, same thing, discard spell, Tribute. You can banish this card from your graveyard to send one Witchcraft card from your deck to the graveyard, except for herself. So as long as you can get to the game back to the next turn, you can recur back some of the good cards. Now we have triple copies of Called by the Grave. I do not want to be hand-trapped when playing this deck. I'm already playing an extremely fragile deck as it is. Anything that could disrupt that is going to be trash. One copy of Feather Duster to remove back row. Triple copies of Extravaganza. Once again, I love the generic draw power that this card just grants to these decks. Two copies of Super Poly. This is pretty good. Now, we do play two copies of By Street. The first time a Witchcraft monster you control will be destroyed by battle, or card effect, it is not. And if a Witchcraft monster you control would discard a card, you can send this card to the graveyard. So there's that. And then during your end phase, you control a Witchcraft monster, and this card is in your graveyard, you get to place it face up once again. Pretty good, right? And then, of course, triple copies of the add one Witchcraft monster from your deck to your hand. And then during your end phase of control Witchcraft, you get to add this back to your hand. But you can only use one Witchcraft effect once per turn. So they were limiting in this. They knew what they were doing. And then, of course, we have triple copies of Sabotage. Target a Witchcraft monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Or during the end phase, if you control a Witchcraft, you can add this card back. If you can control the game to a point where you can slow it down and start generating advantage off of these, this is not bad. And then we have triple copies of Infinite Impermanence. Now, the extra deck, we have one Kieran, one Phoenix, one Cerberus, one Hida, one Borreload, one Blackluster Soldier, one Dweller, one Starving Venom, one copy of Salaman Great Violet Chimera, one Dragus Tapalia, one Panzer Dragon, one Mud Dragon, one copy of Crimson Knight, and two copies of Duplexer Chimera. Wrapping this up. Like I said, the Witchcraft deck, if you can get it to slow down the game, isn't too ass terrible. I do think it's got very good synergy for what it needs to do. And that says a lot. Now, the next list we actually have is the Evil Eye. I do think that this deck, overall, for what it was meant to do in terms of create, it does it very well. So let's dig on into this, shall we? So we have 2 copies of Ash Blossom, once again, central staple. 1 copy of DD Crow. Yes, hand traps. 1 copy of Prankatops. Once again, this card getting that main decked value is so good. Triple copies of Mr. Phantasme himself and triple copies of Max C. Once again, thank you, good cards. Now, 2 copies of Medusa. So when this card is normal summoned, you can target an Evil Eye card in your graveyard, except for Medusa, and add it to your hand. And then while this card is equipped with the Evil Eye of Selene, quick effect, you can target 1 card in your opponent's graveyard and banish it. You can only use this effect of Watcher once per turn. And once per turn during your next standby phase, after this effect was activated, I have to banish a card from my graveyard. Oh well, no real loss, honestly. Now, of course, we do play triple copies of Ceriziel, Watcher of the Evil Eye. So when this card is normal summon, you can add 1 Evil Eye from your deck to your hand. While this card is equipped with Eye of Selene, you can target 1 special monster your opponent controls and destroy it. And then once per turn, during the next standby phase, I have to destroy 1 card I control. No real loss, once again. I'm fine with this, per se, but yeah. Now, triple copies of the Evil Eye of Selene itself. So equip only to an Evil Eye monster. It cannot be destroyed by battle or your opponent's card effects. Also, your opponent cannot target it with card effects. Each time you would activate the equipped monster's effect or another Evil Eye spell card, the equipped monster will gain 500 attack, and if it does not, you'll lose 500 life points. If this card is in your graveyard, you pay 1,000 life points, banish 1 Evil Eye spell and trap card from your graveyard, except for Evil Eye, to set this card on your field. So, this does a lot for this archetype. Like, everything revolves around this, and they actually did equip cards right. Now, we have 1 copy of Feather Duster, and then triple copies of the Domain of the Evil Eye. So when this card is activated, you can add an Evil Eye monster from your deck to your hand. Once per turn, during damage calculation, if your Evil Eye monster is attacked while an Evil Eye of Selene is in your spell and trap card zone, you can activate this effect. Any battle damage you take from that battle is also inflicted to your opponent. And if this card in the field zone would be destroyed by card effect, you can target 1 Evil Eye monster in your graveyard and recur it back to your hand. Whew! Man, oh man, did they just want to make Evil Eye the best deck possible out there? And of course, we have triple duality and triple extravaganza to filter to get to the best cards in our deck. And we have 1 copy of Terraforming to, well, search for Castlevania. Now, the extra deck, we have triple copies of Impermanence. We have 2 copies of the Jealous Disruption of the Evil Eye. So if you control an Evil Eye monster, you can target 1 monster in the field or up to 2 instead if Evil Eye of Selene is in your spell and trap card zone, and return them back to your hand. Chain ability and bouncing? I'll take it. Now, this is the next best thing in the OCG, and it's really crazy that they made this card. So this is Widow Anchor on literally an upgrade. So activate this card by targeting 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Take control of it, but while you control that monster, it cannot attack or activate its effects. Then when that monster leaves the field, destroy this card. Whew. Talk about crazy. You don't want your opponent activating a key effect? I'll just take it. Sure. I guess generic Widow Anchors. Now we have 1 copy of the Sentence of the Evil Eye. So when a spell trap card is activated while you control an Evil Eye monster, negate that activation if you destroy it. Evil Eye Selene is in your spell and trap card zone. This card's activation and effect cannot be negated. Ah, so good. And then we have 2 copies of Strike rounding out the main deck. Honestly, the toolbox ability that this deck brings to itself, I mean, obviously Manhunt's a good card, but still, come on, guys. The extra deck, we have 1 copy of Votacular. We have 1 copy of Triple Burst Dragon. 1 copy of Kagari, 1 Hayate. Taking our opponent's stuff off of Manhunt is really good. 1 Security Dragon, 1 Avram. 1 copy of the Landing Pod Ship Ambral Hell. 1 Unicorn, 1 Cerberus, and 1 Phoenix. And then we have triple copies of Starving Venom Fusion Dragon and 2 copies of the Violet Chimera. The side deck, we have 2 Lancia, 1 DD Crow, 2 copies of Prankatops, 2 copies of Super Poly, triple Anti-Spell Fragrance, 2 copies of DD Graham, 2 Heavy Storm Duster, and 1 Vanity's Emptiness, wrapping this up. I do think that this deck has the most potential out of everything in the archetype. The Evil Eye of Selene, they did it correctly for an equip-based archetype, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what we're going to see from this in the future, as I'm sure most of you guys are once we start to get this set. So please, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think about the prelude to these decks. And, well, guys, I'm out. Peace. The ride never, well, truly ends. Thank you, patrons. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd be wearing in these videos. I might be a truffle shuffle incident all over again. Guys, please also check out VanCole40 for some awesome Vanguard content. Some other interesting stuff you might find up here on the left or in the description as well. Thanks for watching.